we move on to some basketball news because Seth is not here today. And even though Seth is not here today, he is with us in spirit because Damian Lillard traded to the Bucks in a 3-team trade, including the Suns. And let me see if I can get, yeah, here we go. So we have the full trade details. So from Adrian Wojnarowski, Lillard goes to Milwaukee as part of a 3-team deal with Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, a 2029 unprotected Milwaukee first, and unprotected Milwaukee swap rights in 2028 and 2030 to the Blazers. Phoenix lands Jusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. I wish I could get like an actual like chart, but basically the other stuff is kind of incidental, and also Drew Holiday was included in this trade. I don't know if he was mentioned there. Yes, it was mentioned there. Drew Holiday ended up getting traded to the Boston Celtics, so that's going to be an interesting matchup there. You're going to have Drew Holiday up against his former team in the Eastern Conference. I mean, assuming both those teams end up making the playoffs, which I think is pretty much a write-in. The Bucks are a very scary team this year. They obviously they exited the playoffs very early, so I think people sort of forgot about them because we were so focused on Jokic and the Heat and the almost 3-1 comeback or the 3-0 comeback by the Celtics. They pretty much were under the radar, and I think the thing about this that brings me great joy is that for months, and I mean months, it was essentially a write-in for some of these Heat fans. Oh, Dame's coming. It's Dame time. We're going to get Dame. We're going to win the NBA Finals. Dame wants to be here. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. His agent said if he goes anywhere else, he's going to be like a big old baby and he's going to cry. And I don't want to play for Boston. I don't want to play for Philadelphia. I don't want to play for blip, blop, bloop. And cut to a week ago, and Damian Lillard is not going to Miami as a Heat. He is going to Miami as a Buck, and that would be only when the Heat are playing the Bucks at home. So it's true that he will be playing in Miami. He's just going to be on the other team. So that is true enough, I suppose. But look, I think the Heat right now. The Heat is kind of on the Heat. Like they spent basically the entire offseason in this stupid thing that never the fact that you didn't get Damian Lillard is nothing short of an unmitigated failure of the Miami Heat. You had it, right? Like he only wanted to go to you. You had the situation basically under your control and you just flubbed it. You just totally flubbed it. You didn't, I don't know. They didn't want to change what they were giving up. Portland might have asked for too much. I don't know. Maybe Portland was being too unreasonable. I got no clue. But the fact that you lost Gabe Vincent, you lost Max Strus. You're going to be relying probably on a lot of the guys that you just drafted. And maybe it works out. It's the Heat. They really know how to develop players. They know how to have guys that you never heard of make immediate impact. And they still got a really talented team. They still got Tyler Hero. Still got Jimmy Buckets. They still got Bam Adebayo. They still got a really solid team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to make some noise. But, they were really were looking to get that superstar ad in Damian Lillard. And unfortunately for us in the East, for especially us Pistons fans, Dame Lillard on the Bucks is certainly going to push back our time as far as competition in this conference goes. And the Pistons are already pretty far off being the worst team last year, but now we're going to have to deal with the Milwaukee Bucks of Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton, and Giannis, which is very scary. We'll end up seeing what happens. We'll see how much of an impact Monty Williams can make on the development of guys like Cade and Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, I guess, because we re-signed him. I don't know. But as it stands, the Miami Heat, they're the big losers this offseason as far as I'm concerned. Big winners of the Milwaukee Bucks. They immediately, on top of other teams that also made some really good moves, the Lakers are a big winner as well. And I think the Celtics, they also were big players. I would say the Suns, but I just don't trust them. So They let one of the best coaches just sort of walk. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's fine with me. Yeah. So it's been an interesting offseason for the NBA. Obviously, the games are going to get started here in a little bit. Preseason, I believe, is starting in a few days, or maybe a week or so from now. And not that anybody cares about preseason NBA because it's basically just it's summer league, but in the not summer. So yeah, should be at the very least an interesting season. I think right now the Bucks, as far as on paper, and ultimately we won't really know. On paper, Bucks look like the best team in the East. Celtics are a close team to follow, and it's hard to bet against the Heat, just given how much of a pain they have been for teams. We'll see what ends up happening, but I am not looking forward to the constant obnoxiousness of Seth bragging about how great the Bucks are every week once he comes back. It's gonna be so much fun, he said with an air of sarcasm. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.